Environmental storytelling and the freedom given to explore its various intricacies is possible only in the realm of video games. Think about it, books can do this, movies can achieve it, but only in video games can you give the option for the player to live in a thematic setting and understand the same at their own pace, mind you. And that exactly is what separates this medium from the rest. But I also feel like developers don't take advantage of this. They're so hesitant to respect the player and to impart that kind of freedom to the player where it's not just about giving them an open world, but also about the way they interact with that world. Arkane Studios, however, is renowned in creating virtual interactive set pieces that give player that same choice and freedom. Dishonored is their most critically acclaimed work, and for very good reason that game still holds up despite being more than a decade old. Yes, it is almost a decade. I also am kind of in. Oh my god, that hit hard. We've all grown old, guys. It's already been. It was released back in 2012, I believe. So it's been very long. Yeah, but we're getting sidetracked. Dishonored is a great game, no doubt about it. The amount of choices and the ways you can tackle a mission there, it was really revolutionary. And again, this kind of gameplay centric, give the player the option to figure it out is what Arkane does best. But for the scope of this entry, I want to talk about their criminally underrated title from 2017, Prey. I'll try to sell this game to you or the concept to you in as few words as possible. So Prey is essentially a science fiction immersive simulator that takes place on a space station orbiting the moon called Talos 1. The space station is the game's heartbeat. Literally, right from the get-go, you start to realize how much attention to detail every inch of the space has received. The first hour of this game is insane. Like it will blow your mind, and that intrigue will carry on till the end of the game. Oh my god, the first hour. I just randomly thought about the first hour of this game and how good that is. I will not spoil it. No way. For a person to play that for the very first time, it was brilliant. And again, in that very moment, you will also realize how much care has been put into every nook and cranny of this world, of this station. And this is much needed because you see, due to an alien invasion, and the aliens in this game are called Typhons, uh, not necromorphs. I was almost going to say necromorphs. They are in dead space. Talos 1 is essentially abandoned, save for a few unfortunate souls. And even if when they have died, they have left behind a story for you to unravel, which is kind of funny when you think about it. Most games can tell a proper story through characters that are alive and well, and here you have Arkane flexing their storytelling muscles and how good they are that they can convey intriguing stories through a cast of dead characters. And if that doesn't tell you how good these guys are, nothing will. This is it. Yeah, I also want to emphasize the fact that none of this narrative is forced on you. You can literally ignore everything in the game from a storytelling perspective and just do the missions, the side missions, whatever, and get to the end of the game, and you will ultimately have a very not so satisfactory conclusion to all the events that take place in the game. But if you do take your time and if you check every computer, read every email, you know, check all the transcribes and everything, then you will come to realize what's happening and figure out and come to your own conclusions. And I think that is a much more satisfying way to experience Arkane's work rather than just rushing through it. I think it would be a disservice to the amount of effort that has gone into this world that they have created. Again, it circles back to Arkane respecting the player to the point that they are confident that, oh, we have created a world that is so intriguing and it is so filled to the brim with detail that it will make the player curious enough to search for everything on their own. And we are totally fine if they don't uh, check or don't see everything, but we are also pretty confident of what we have built, that we're sure that some people will take their time and see everything we have put together. And that is insane. Like, what kind of developer you have to be to trust your art to that degree? And again, Arkane pulls that off time and time again. So I could possibly talk to you about a couple of my favorite locations in the game, the crew quarters and the arboretum. I suppose you guys can check images for that because my words will never do it justice. One of my favorite locations is in the crew quarters. There's a cafeteria, and the cafeteria essentially, you can see outside of the space station, and you can see the moon, and you can see the Earth. And I was just thinking, if things were normal on the space station, how would it look like? You know, after work hours would have ended, you would be sitting in the cafeteria enjoying like a nice meal and just looking out in the vastness of space and the void, and I was just reminiscing. I was just thinking. I was just reflecting on how it would feel. And again, that became one of my favorite spaces in the game, for sure. So again, I would leave that up to you for you to experience that and come to your own conclusions. Again, I would like to place emphasis on the fact that this is a very underrated game. It's sold very poorly. That could be due to multiple factors. This game shares the name with another game that was released back in 2006. So yeah, multiple factors, but give this game a go. I believe you will have a fantastic time. And like I said, these type of games should be encouraged so that the medium can evolve to its truest, highest potential. That was entry number 2. My name is Rahul Blade. Thank you for listening.